Ms. Byron, may I have roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Anderson,
Here.
Miss Dawson,
Here.
Miss Harrington,
Here.
Mr. Rickett.
Here.
Madam Chair, the clerk certifies the presence of a quorum.
Thank you. Any adjustments to the agenda?
No, ma'am.
I do have one. I would like to add, what was I going to call it? Not a motion, but I would like to add consideration to the contract for the SBMA policy services under board member items.
You have additional information you want to discuss it?
We can discuss as well, yes.
Perfect.
Yep. May I have a motion to approve with modification?
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All those in favor by saying aye? Aye. Motion carries. Moving on. Ms. Dawson, closed session certification, please. Or motion, sorry.
Pursuant to 2.2-3711A of the Code of Virginia, the Orange County School Board will convene a closed meeting for the following: discussion of personnel or the performance of a division employee as authorized by Section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia for resignation, termination, transfer, employment, salary adjustment, and retirement of employees. Discussion of pupil personnel as authorized by Section 2.2-3711A2 for early admission, waiver of compulsory attendance, out-of-county, out-of-district request, and student discipline.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. We're in closed session.
Ma'am.
I'd like to call this meeting back to order. May I have closed session certification, please?
Whereas the Orange County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires certification by this board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, now therefore be it resolved that the Orange County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered.
May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Ms. Byron, may I have roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Anderson,
Aye.
Ms. Dawson,
Aye.
Ms. Harrington,
Aye.
Mr. Rickett.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the clerk certifies the vote as follows: 4 yes votes, no no votes. The resolution is approved by a 4-0 vote.
Thank you. Deposition of personnel actions, Dr. Horning?
Yes, ma'am. Recommend approval of the personnel actions as presented in closed session.
May I have a motion?
I move to approve the personnel agenda to include resignation, employment, termination, retirement, salary adjustment, and transfer of staff, and coaching and extracurricular appointments.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
All those in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Deposition of pupil personnel actions.
Yes, ma'am. Also recommend approval of pupil personnel actions as presented in closed session.
May I have a motion?
I move to approve the request for waiver of compulsory attendance under the religious exemption for pupil personnel case numbers PP 2025-13 through PP 2025-19.
May I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. And we will recess for 16 minutes, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me go check on Daniel. Turn the light on.
I'd like to call this meeting back to order. Where was I at? May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would also like to ask if we can have a moment of silence for Miss Quintern's young man, Joshua. We need a lot of prayers right now for him, and hopefully this time around the chemo will work and we'll be able to see him here again. So if you don't mind, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Now I can turn the page.
Thank you.
Ms. Byram, I will open for public comment. Ms. Byram, do we have any speakers this evening?
No, ma'am, no one has signed up.
All right. Hearing none, I will close public comment. Moving on to the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes, financial reports, and monthly operating bills.
I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes, financial reports, and monthly operating bills as presented under the consent agenda.
I looked through those as well. I'll second that. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on, superintendent's recommendations. Dr. Hornick.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. This evening, I'll bring Ms. Lisa Frady-Lawhorn forward to answer any questions that you may have about the supplemental appropriations. We have 4 this evening. One is for Carl Perkins funding. The second is for Title III. And the last 2 are both for security grant equipment. One is a small number for $2,700 and change. This is reallocated money where other schools throughout the Commonwealth did not utilize all of their equipment grant that was allocated for 2022. And we have been awarded this money, and it will be used within the realm of upgrading security equipment, specifically at Orange County High School, is where that money will be spent. If you could scroll down, Laura. And then, of course, the large one here is the security equipment grant. Doesn't want to.
Yeah, it doesn't want to. There we go. I don't know
There we
why
go.
it spaced them so much.
Okay, so this is the 2025 security equipment grant, and the board is apprised of this information already. This security grant comes from the VDOE. We were able to be awarded the maximum amount this year of $250,000. We will be bringing a 20% match, I believe is the number. And with this money, we are going to do 2 large-scale security enhancements to our buildings. One is we are going to completely replace and upgrade our public address, our PA system at Orange County High School. It is currently very outdated, and it has areas of the building that is very difficult to hear. It is not a coherent system. It is patchwork put together, and we are going to completely upgrade that system. And the second is we are going to replace all of the cameras at Locust Grove Middle School with the same cloud-based system that we replaced the high school with last year, Justin. And so those 2 projects we will address to improve security. And this was a grant that we missed out on receiving. We had applied for the last 2 years and were not awarded. And kudos to Marshall and Justin, and in particular Justin's work with Cloud 12 to really dive into the grant, know the specifics, know how to get points, and wrote a very compelling grant. We were able to get the maximum funding from the state this year, so we are really looking forward to get both of these projects underway, and I anticipate both will be done before this school year is complete, well before this school year is done. And so we will certainly be spending this grant funding far before June 30th of 2026. Happy to answer any additional questions.
Thank you, Dr. Hornick.
Yes,
Are there
ma'am.
any questions?
I do
Ms.
have something
Harrington.
I'd like to say. I did have an opportunity to speak with Dr. Hornick to try to get some information on this because I was thinking it was related to the Synergex. Is that the
Centegix.
Centegix and the panic buttons and everything. So I'm just once again want to state how impressed I am that we continue to work hard to make sure that our students are in the safest environment possible. The security equipment grant aligned with the Centegix, aligned with the vestibules and the things are really impressive to continue to make sure that our students, our staff are safe in our facilities. And I wanted to thank you. The other question that just came up was, what was the name of the company that you said helped with the grant writing?
So the company that we are going to utilize to do the PA replacement is called Cloud 12.
So they sell the equipment, they install the equipment, and they help you. They're not just a specific grant writing consultancy.
You want to?
Our sales rep, just to be completely transparent about the project, we've had a couple of different vendors come in and look at our high school to give us some quotes and some opinions and do some engineering walkthroughs. And Cloud 12 ended up being the most competitive of those. They also have a really comprehensive approach to the way they approach that building. But they have some folks on their staff that have significant grant writing experience and were able to assist us.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Hornick, it's just very important to me that we do continue to look at all available grants. I didn't know if we have any type of individual in staff or on staff that does that, but I'm constantly, again, impressed with the workloads that our managers and directors and executive directors carry, and also to find the time to reach out and pursue additional grants to support our students and our safety. So thank you. Thank you.
Susan, you would love for us to find somebody full-time, wouldn't you?
Oh,
I can just imagine the amount of time that you spent on that, so. The only comment that I had was just another example of a terrific job, not to go through what, Ms. Harrington said, just making sure that our young people are safe. I really appreciate it.
Well, if you're so happy, make a motion.
Do you need us to?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. If you're so happy.
And you know it.
Approve supplemental appropriations for FY 2026 operating budget totaling $283,323.25, increase in revenues and expenses as presented.
May I have a, thank you. All those in favor by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you all.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. And then last this evening, Laura, would you go to the page?
Is Brandon not here? No. Tell Brandon, this has got to get bigger.
the screen.
I can't just blow it up.
I second that.
I was trying, I was pushing. Didn't you see me? I didn't see you.
Just when I enlarge it, my eyes get a day older, and then they
You
can't
put that
see it.
Last this evening is a report about the C2E facility. And so just while we're here in the public setting, to remind the community that the Friday before last, the school board met to review and ultimately voted to accept a PPEA proposal from Gilbane Building Company. The copy of the resolution is at the bottom of this particular web page, which is dedicated to this project in particular. And with this resolution, the school board did a number of things. As a quick summary, it accepted Gilbane's proposal. It opened up a 45-day window for other contracts and architect teams to submit competing proposals. And it did a number of other items that are enumerated in the resolution. If you would scroll back up, Laura. Upon the board's approval on the Friday, whatever the date, let me take a look. On Friday, that was the 7th, at the special called meeting. We worked with Mike Lockaby, our attorney, to prepare this outreach. And this is a public notice of receipt of the unsolicited PPA proposal. It also lets interested parties know when the 45-day window will end, and that is December the 23rd of this year. We will receive both paper and electronic copies, and we have asked the interested parties to please coordinate with Marty Pitts to ensure that we will be available, and we will coordinate a time by the 23rd at 2 o'clock to receive. We provided information to the interested parties at the bottom. It includes a link to Gilbane's unsolicited proposal. It includes a link of our statement of general needs, the Orange County School Board's guidelines for implementation of the act, which the school board addressed earlier in the summer. And it also includes the geotechnical report that Timmons Engineering did in October. The report was from October. They did all the work previous to October. And it includes the key dates, deadline for proposals, the closing date, and if there are enough companies that submit a proposal and they score well enough, we have our timeline for interviews, which would be set for our return from winter break, January 5th through the 9th. And our ultimate goal would be to bring forward a recommended contractor at the board meeting on January the 12th, 2026. And so we just thought it was good to summarize again the information to let it be known publicly that we are interested in being in receipt of additional PPEA proposals from other contractor and architect teams. And I appreciate the time, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And as you can see, that everything is listed on the website. So again, there you have people reaching out for questions. Direct them here.
And in addition, this Bobby Bernard, who works in finance, and she's our procurement specialist, has on Friday the 7th also put this information on EVA so it's accessible through the state. And on EVA, it gives a summary of what we have done and what we're looking to do, and it specifically provides this URL for interested parties to go to this webpage to get the specific information about PPEA. So everything that we are sending out refers interested parties and constituents back to this specific webpage dedicated to this project.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything else, sir?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, moving on, board member comments, future items. This is where I suggested we add consideration to move forward with the contract with SBMA for their policy services. I felt that this was something that we should probably act on pretty quickly since we're getting to the end of the year. And then also we have the beginning of the year where we're going to be getting new policies are going to have to be implemented. So to get our policies current, again, up to date, I would like to see possibly making a motion to move forward with this.
I would request to table this item until we were able to receive the information that was forwarded but didn't quite make it to all of us, and then bring it back maybe at the next meeting for consideration discussion.
Okay.
I will accept full responsibility for that failure to forward. That's all on me. So I do, yeah,
Life.
I do agree that we probably should have a chance to talk about it. But I did have a chance to speak with Ms. Turgeon, and I just will say, this probably should be said later when we actually are talking about it, but what I do like about it is that it's such a personal review of policy rather than, most of the divisions in the entire state sort of getting a blanket thing. This is an actual personal review of Orange County policy, which I think is probably well worth the value that they offer. Just for food for thought, and then we can discuss
Okay.
after I do my job.
I will put it on the next agenda then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Dawson, thanks as always for you being you.
I don't know who else to be.
Not too many people accept responsibility for things, so it's a big deal.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Is there any other items?
I would just like to.
Where's your notebook?
No, I don't have it, but I have paper. Does that count? I'd just like to quickly mention, I know this is a hot topic in the entire state, and I was at a conference on Friday and Saturday, and Secretary of Education of Virginia, Gadara, was there and gave a presentation on the framework, the new accountability and accreditation framework. And some of what she had to say was just struck me so profoundly. And I know we have, Dr. Hornick's concerned, teachers are concerned, we're concerned. It's a huge change. But when you look at, and this is all available on the VDOE website, but if I could just, primarily for our citizenry who are looking at, okay, what's this going to mean for us? And of course our teachers and implementation, but the state is working really hard to relieve some of that concern, I think, by giving us time to roll this in. It's not going to happen tomorrow. We have a 4 to 5 year window, but what has changed, the standards from 2021 to 2025, so many revisions, the SOLs themselves, and she stood there and said, I understand how much everybody hates the SOL test. And everybody said, amen. We all do, but what they've worked towards is a more rigorous test that's not just rote memory, but analysis and critical thinking and truly evaluating knowledge and not just memorization. The mastery aligned to the NAEP, and Dr. Hornick and I have had this conversation. It either should be the state score or the national score, but my personal opinion is that our state should be at least as good as the nation. This is Virginia. We need to be at least, when our parents get an SOL score, they should know that if our children move from here to Kentucky, they're going to be in line with what the national scores should be. And I think that's not a good thing. I mean, that is a good thing. Did I say that right? It is a good thing that it's in line nationally.
We will be in line and exceed.
Yeah. The accountability piece, the 3 E's, I just love this piece of it, the enrollment, the employment, and the enlistment. So we're incentivizing college credit, industry recognized credentials with that CTE building that's coming, and the things that we're already currently doing, of course, and then the ASVAB for military entry. And one of the things that she pointed out, preparing students for success in life, Virginia is one of only 6 states. This is a mind-boggling statistic. 6 states that requires mastery of fundamental knowledge in reading, writing, and math to graduate. How is that possible in the United States of America that there are 6 states that require mastery in those basic core academic areas? It's unfathomable to me. And then this is a list of a couple of other states where Virginia is raising expectations and expecting more rigor and asking our students to perform. And if we raise the expectation, what do students do? Research proves. If we say this is what we expect, then they respond. And I think that's where we want to go. We want rigor. Illinois State Superintendent said, this is not lowering the standards really, but adjusting to better match the reality of students' abilities. Say what? So you're telling me American students don't have the ability to meet these benchmarks? That's nuts. Sorry, Mr. whoever you are in Illinois. And Oregon decided that basic reading, writing, and math skills are not required for students to graduate with a high school diploma.
What?
That's exactly what I said. What? So as much as I know there's trauma in our divisions over this change. I really do think ultimately we're moving in the right direction to really be rigorous and honest and transparent. And where we're failing, well, you can't change unless you know that you've got a problem, right? You have to admit, I have a problem. So if there's a school that's really struggling, then they're getting the support they need. They're getting the money they need. They're getting the extra personnel they need. They're getting the interventions that they need based on this. So I understand it's a sore subject with some, but I really do think I think it's a good direction for us to go, and I'm excited to see how it rolls out. And I know for this year, she said nothing will change in 2025-26. All the graduating class will not have to meet any new cut scores, and it will roll out then over the next 4 or 5 years. So just, I know we can discuss it, but that's my 2 cents. Thank you for giving me the time to share that.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you very much for helping to enlighten some of us who maybe haven't had the time to dig in so in depth. Also, you have that curriculum and instruction background. Thank you. When I looked at what Dr. Hornick sent us, it made kind of sense, common sense, but the way that you've explained it as a community member or parent, I would have felt much better rather than just trying to absorb what was said in that email that was sent out. So I think that, that's one of the hardest things within public education. There seems to be so much change so often, but you're right, you can't get it right unless you're willing to experiment and get it right. I hope that we are getting closer, because it's horrible to think that for so many years students were getting scored on something that wasn't quite real. Yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you. All good?
Good.
We're adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.